There's also like, I feel like it seems like a common German thing where there's like, you go into the bathroom and there's like, okay, there's 3 more doors I have to open to get to like pee.
But it allows for like, non-gender proofing of the bathroom too, which is
That's smart. I don't want you
behind me. This?
Yeah, I want to be beside you so we can also look at each other if we meet.
read your fine piece today. Thank you for the kind words. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading it. Oh, that was fantastic.
It first came about in the summer of 2015. I felt the need to do something urgent, that felt bold, that felt of the moment. And I didn't know Jonny yet, but I was basically taking the pulse of the world around me in Central Texas.
Okay.
And this involved like gay hookup apps and just seeing the level of racism, internalized homophobia, all of that that's on there. And then also kind of making my own connections with this emerging alt-right movement in America and this sort of like these people who used to be on the fringes who now feel power, you know, and I felt this palpable anxiety in the air and the sense of danger on the horizon. And I swear everybody I was sharing it with was like, why haven't you shown Jonny Mars this yet? And I was like, I don't know, Jonny. And then I think initially we just had a lot of conversations about politics and quickly understood that we got each other.
Right.
And there was a trust that was developed really quickly. And this character really came to life together through a few month process before we started filming. We were filming exactly this time last year.
Honestly, and we've never spoken on this, but I really feel like it's honestly it's like a meditation for us to understand like what the fuck is going on in the world and how is this allowed to persist, you know?
Like we didn't imagine we'd be living in a like Trump authoritarian regime, you know, like like everybody, we thought things were going in a different direction.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, I felt like what we were making was kind of the pinnacle of this
The end of it.
Yeah, the end of it. And it was almost like a cautionary tale, this nightmare cautionary tale. But now, of course, it seems more of a reflection of, you know, where we're at, if you want to read into it that way.
Even just drive time radio in Texas, you know, FM drive time radio where they play pop.
Yeah.
Those the DJs come on and they are advertising something that is just so incorrect and backwards. It's baffling, and they have an audience. They have a huge share of an audience. You know, when we knew we had to do a scene that was going to be tough, I'd say I need 5 minutes, and I'd literally sit in the van and shut all the doors and cross my legs and just get lost in the music, you know, and because I did all my prep according to those songs, so it's just for me a quick entry point to try to get to these emotional places.
A couple of things. I mean, one, I feel like, you know, like it's well documented that progress doesn't always happen in social justice doesn't happen in like a straight linear line. And I think that, you know, while there are setbacks, it's hard to argue that there hasn't been a lot of progress and a lot of like rights won and a lot of acceptance that's been gained. You know, like early on, I mean less so now, but early on, the stuff that I was making, like the In Their Room series in particular, I was making stuff I wish I had seen as a teenage boy living in rural Ohio. You know, I mean, when I grew up in the late '80s, it was like if you were gay, I mean, you know, I didn't have the internet didn't exist really. I didn't have cable TV, and so my only media that I saw of gay life was either people dying of AIDS or drag queens and crazy like characters that were on like the Phil Donahue show. And so I didn't feel like there was any representation. And then once I moved to bigger cities, I live in San Francisco as well. Once I moved to San Francisco, I started to see that there were these different communities that existed, but we weren't seeing them. You know, we weren't seeing all of these different layers of what the humanity of being a gay person is, just like any other person.